ladies and gents. Welcome to another episode of Football Moshla Podcast. We are actually doing Gameweek 28 of the FPL, Fantasy Premier League. And this video is all about FPL, team selection, Cunha replacement, Luis Hall replacement, and Mateta replacement. And what is the best team for this game week? I'm your host, Qazi Adil. I have with me our wonderful scientist co-host, Fardan.
Fardan Ahmed is here. Now, we would like to keep our very first short and sweet. Let's just not say sweet, short and spicy, because all about the moshla, right? So
Correct.
short and spicy FPL Game Week 28. We're going to burn right through it, just like moshla, how it crisps into your proteins and everything else. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to keep it very brief and concise so that it can help you master your Game Week 28.
Wow, you got a lot of feedback, man. It seems like people really gave you সেরকম মশলা feedback যে ভাই তুই কমায় নিয়ে এপিসোডটা এত বাড়াইস না। হ্যাঁ,
ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে it's not about the feedback is always good for the channel. It's always good.
yeah, very good. মানে এমনই ফিডব্যাক পাইছো যে 1 মিনিটে শেষ করে দাও সব কাজ।
1 মিনিটে তো হয় না, 1 মিনিটে হইলে তো মানে মানুষজন কিছু মারামারি করবে আর কি। But we're gonna keep it very concise আর কি, কারণ আড্ডা দিলে তো আড্ডা হয়ে যায়। So we're not gonna keep it like that. We're gonna keep it very line to the point.
So now you tell me, what is my favorite striker, Mateta, got 27 stitches on his left ear.
Oh my god.
That was a crazy tackle.
I shouldn't be laughing.
But that guy is tough. So, but stitching is not easy. It's not fun. I personal experience about this. So the manager actually said that he's gonna miss the Ipswich game at home to Ipswich Crystal Palace. So now it's also my problem, and it's a problem with a lot of folks in FPL who have actually picked on Mateta, but probably was thinking about the double game week coming up and also the blank game week in 29. So Mateta is out. So a lot of people would have thought about replacing Mateta with Cunha. Now Cunha did Cunha things. Let's just put it that way. He looks okay. With all due respect, here's my observation. Does he look high to you when he plays? Like he looks like he's high. He's smoked. He's high, and then he's angry, and then he does that. So if you go back and watch Cunha earlier in the season, he didn't look high. Right now, he looks high to me.
It's okay. Maybe he's taking pointers from Paul Pogba. Maybe he's taking something,
Paul Pogba আকাম কুকাম করে এখন মক্কাতে গেছে.
It's okay. Before Mocca, everybody has to go through some Kuwaiti bar or something like that. So it's okay. I mean, you never know. I felt like he looks more focused. Like he looks very much like, I feel like he looks very much into it. Like the shots he's taking, he's more like,
he looks high to me.
He looks agile to me.
If you're high, a lot of people performs when they're high. But he was not there. The reaction was not defensible. So he deserves whatever ban he gets. I think he's out for 3 games, and it might be more.
That's a whole different podcast, whether he deserves it or not. But I actually have him in my team, and I was very, very baffled because I was actually thinking of getting in Mateta for, Game Week 28, like a 1-week punt. But it doesn't make sense anymore because he's not in a good shape. So these two problems, I would say, are very much replaceable if your striker situation is dependent on 3 strikers. If it's 2 strikers, you can definitely bench them or something. But if you're a Mateta owner, you have to bench him for 2 weeks, right, against Ipswich this week and for Game Week 29, unless you're playing a free hit. So the best replacements are there's definitely Beto from Everton. Why? Because I saw him play in the last game. He looked very sharp. He missed out on 3 chances thanks to Brentford's flecken, but to me he looked very good. I think he had a very good XG in that game. Well, there's always our Brighton boys, Welbeck and Joao Pedro. There's always punt with a Spurs striker, but I don't think so because I don't think Spurs are doing that good. And also Solanke might not be fit, but Richarlison is worth a shout. But then again, Spurs are playing Bournemouth at home, so I don't think so. Fulham are in with a shout because I think you can go with Muniz, who is starting to look good. Jimenez and Muniz's minutes are being managed, so they go. If one starts, the other comes on as a sub. So I think that they are also a good option to look at. However, I own Wissa, and I'm very proud of it because Wissa is doing so good for me. So Wissa is also a good replacement. These are my striker suggestions.
An honorable mention is definitely Wood. The Wood factor
Oh,
might
of
come back.
course. Yes, of course. I'm sorry.
At home to Manchester City, we fancy him scoring,
Yes.
even if they lose the game. But then Wood is a good option because in Game Week 29 for Crystal Palace, Wood is playing Ipswich away.
Definitely.
So a lot of people will look into Wood. And Welbeck is I mean, you mentioned Welbeck is an option. He's coming to form. And then there's the $1 million question about the expensive striker in the FPL is Haaland. Haaland can be, I mean, definitely a lot of people will bring him from game week 30 because they're playing Leicester at home. But might it just well just solve your, because you only have 10 game weeks to go after this, and then there's no long-term scenario here, in my opinion. I mean, you guys are scientists, so you guys can play wild cards maybe 2 weeks before the game the whole season ends, or free hit. And a lot of people have saved their chips, so, and I got a lot of bashing because why did I use all my chips? Well, I'm set for game week 29, blank game week, so I'm not worried about that. Only time the worry will come is probably game week 34 or 33 or 34. There might be another blank
34
with 34. It's not confirmed yet, but they're looking
it's
at
pretty much confirmed. There are only 3 or 4 fixtures that are confirmed, but we'll talk about it at a later pod.
Yeah.
But definitely you have to manage your game week 29. Remember that when you're doing your transfers, you have to keep in mind that 29 is something that you have to keep in mind, for those teams that are blanking. Again, those are Liverpool, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, and there's one more
Newcastle.
team, Newcastle. Thank you. So that's why there's a whole debate about Isak, should you sell him or not. There's a whole debate about Mateta, Cunha. These are whenever a team blanks in FPL, they're always a team that's doing good overall, the Premier League or the FA Cup. In this case, Aston Villa, Newcastle, in no way they're doing bad. And then we have had seasons where Manchester City assets, Chelsea assets, Arsenal assets were, blanking, and people were like, oh, Saka Kiki Korbo and this and that. But don't worry about it, guys. We're here. We gave you the replacements for the strikers. Now, do you want to get into Lewis Hall?
Before that, I have one more crazy idea.
Okay, let's
for
go for it.
strikers. So let's go for it. Are you ready for this?
Not really.
Okay, this is the best idea. If you're gonna go 1 week punt, you looking at the Mateta fixture, because a lot of people brought in Mateta for home to Ipswich. So who's gonna replace Mateta in Crystal Palace's team?
Oh, Eddie and Nketiah. Good choice. Good pick.
1 week punt, get all the goals. He might score like a couple of goals if you're brave enough. If you haven't done your transfer, just make him captain also, and take the points.
Definitely.
Nobody mentioned it. None of the content creators in FPL have mentioned this. So this is something. If it works,
this is Moshla. Peak Moshla.
This is yeah. If it doesn't work, then I mean, because a lot of people will not go for this because they have to blank, because he's going to blank in game week 29.
Yeah.
But if you have the luxury of playing a chip in game week 29, then Nketiah, because then again, on game week 30, even if Mateta doesn't play, he's playing away to Southampton.
And Nketiah is actually not a bad pick at all, guys. I didn't mention him. I did have him in my notes, but I just breezed through it. But then again, I think that it's a brave pick. It's a good pick. Well, obviously, Eze, Munoz, and Sar, and Nketiah are in with a sniff against Ipswich, who have a very bad record of conceding goals. So definitely.
Now we can go to Lewis Hall.
Let's go to Lewis Hall.
So
what's wrong with... Yes, I'm heavily considering Cucurella actually for the Leicester fixture. I have Palmer, who's disappointed me over and over again. But then again, it's Cole Palmer. I'm going to keep him. I think that Cucurella has a very, very good chance to have a very big, massive haul, Haul. And then that's why you can replace him instead of Hall in my team. I'm very much considering bringing him in. Who else do you have in mind for defender replacements?
I have this guy called Collins from Brentford.
Wow.
It's another brave and tough pick, but He is actually only 4.5 million.
Is it okay?
He's playing home to Aston Villa. I think Brentford fancies themselves against Aston Villa. Away to Bournemouth, that's a tough one. But then he's going to play away to Newcastle, and I think Newcastle are getting a lot of injuries, so that might be an easy fixture. But I think Collins. But again, Vardiol is also an option from game week 30. You can bring him against Nottingham Forest. That's my thing. And then all the Crystal Palace defenders, even. I mean, you're blanking, but there's a bunch of defenders like Chris Richards is there, Lacroix, Mitchell.
Mm,
Um, I mean, why not bring in Colwell also if you want the clean sheet for 1 week?
definitely.
Clean sheet bonus. So these are my few. My personally, I have Wan Bissaka.
Okay, it's not bad.
So
One
yeah, I'm
Bissaka
gonna.
is who are they playing this
They're
week? They're
playing home to Newcastle,
mm,
away to Everton, and then away to Wolves. So
yeah.
I have Van Bissaka, so we'll just see how that goes.
One Bissaka is a very good option. Brentford defender, I would be very scared because Brentford defense is not looking that good. But then again, you never know. Aston Villa at home, they might get charged up. These are the teams that get a full week's worth of rest, so you know that they're gonna hit the ground running when the referee blows the whistle over the weekend. If you want a different Newcastle defender, you might not want to consider it because they're blanking on 29, and even they're playing West Ham away, so Newcastle defense is not the way to go. Maybe I was actually thinking about an Everton defense that I how much I like Tarkowski as a FPL asset. So I was looking at Tarkowski that maybe he's good for a pretty good amount of time until Everton's fixtures go completely south from game week 30. It's Liverpool, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Manchester City, Chelsea. Those are like some dying fixtures for Everton. So for 2 weeks, you can bring him in for 28 and 29.
Mikolenko also.
Mikolenko for sure.
Yeah. So you have that. So and you want to talk about the midfield a little bit about the Palmer situation, the Pedro Neto.
Yes,
Uh,
I was also considering Pedro Neto. I know that someone from our mini league also got it. Pedro Neto, good 11 points from him. He is definitely going to do, I think he's going to do really good against Leicester. I'm not sure if he played today in the Europa Conference League, um, but I didn't see him in the squad. But Chelsea did good. But I think Pedro Neto is definitely going to start this match, and if, in that case, he's good. He's a good differential for this fixture. There's also Sar from Crystal Palace. There's also I would like to mention Asensio, um, who's in red hot form, and I guess Brentford he might come in as a sub. I know he might come in as a sub or even start the game, but I think Asensio is in red hot form, and he will do good. Don't forget our Liverpool boys, the one who will bring in all the points, who is Mohamed Salah, who is the most popular captain this week. I feel he's my captain too. Um, I have Luis Diaz as my differential, whatever. But I really hope Luis Diaz can do something this week, or maybe they're too tired from the PSG matchup, and I think Gakpo is going to start this match, which is kind of scary for me.
wow, it's a big call. Gakpo's starting. What about Odegaard and Bruno Fernandes?
They're playing Manchester United away. Based on how Manchester United have played in the Europa and how Arsenal have played, a very nice James Bond-ish fixture against PSV Eindhoven. Uh, Both of the teams are going to be semi-tired because Bruno's fitness is mashallah good, but against Arsenal, I think Ruben Amorim is gonna go full force. He's not gonna hold back. He's gonna try to assemble a strong team. So Bruno at home differential. He's a differential
And honorable mention, Jared Bowen.
for sure. Yes, Jared Bowen for sure. He's in good form. He came in with a kind of lucky goal last week, but you can never rule him out. He can be down, but he's never out.
Mm. And hold Palmer for 1 week?
I'm holding him.
Mm. That's your suggestion. Okay.
Yeah, I'm holding him. It's okay. You never know. He's capable of 3-4 goals in a match. He has the penalty threat. So
But if he blanks this week,
if he belongs this week, I would very much look to sell him for game week 29.
sell him for the entire season.
Maybe not for game week 32 with Ipswich at home, 34 Everton at home. So I don't know.
Just laugh, Palmer. Any honorable mention about Waneri?
For
Man.
Manchester United away fixture, maybe.
All right. Captains.
Salah.
And Nketiah.
Differential, but again, if you compare to Salah, I know that he didn't do
Palmer?
that good.
Palmer cannot be captain?
No, based on his form, you can't. It's a risk. We already saw what happened to our, friend Kanchanbhai, who captained him last week.
I mean, anyone brave here who's the captain Palmer this week? Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. Who knows? Balls of Loha.
Balls of fire?
Something like that.
Okay. So you have rushed through this. Whoever gave you this feedback, you took it to your heart and brain and your soul. You just wanted to like wrap it up. And you went like crazy. So we wrapped it up within 16 minutes. Anything else?
Yes, they have to. Whoever's watching does not have to smash the like button. They just have to touch the like button. Just have to type some comments and bring on subscribers to this channel.
Please give him more feedback so that he can shorten it more. Okay, he can rush through it. Wow, Fardan. Anyways, thank you so much, ladies and gents, for watching. That was the FPL Game Week 28 team selection and preview. We'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.